G'day guys, Paul here from The Hook and the Cook, and welcome back to our channel. Today I'm out with a couple of young guns from Noosa. These guys know how to fish, let me tell you. Now we're going to head out. These guys have also got a channel called My Fishing Journey, so give them a bit of a subscription, guys. Get in there and subscribe. They're going to show me a few tricks, and let's see if they can teach themselves off a few new tricks, boys, eh?
Let's get into it.
Yeah, and also I'm going to cook these guys up a little bit of lunch, hopefully, if we catch something. So pressure's on these blokes, not me.
Looking forward to it, boys. Sounds good, let's do it.
Let's get out there.
Alrighty. You.
We're up at Lake Koroiba at the moment, just in between the Noosa River, just at the end of the Noosa River, sorry, and the boys have said, well, let's have a little bit of a troll for flathead. Is there a reason why we're doing that, Scott?
It's just because we're waiting for that tide to tick over. Once we wait for that tide to run out, you know, we'll go chase the jacks, the trevally and stuff on the run out tide. But I figure we'll come up here, chase a few better bread and butter species.
So Scotty, what are you actually using today when we're trawling for the, I'll just turn the engine off so that the guys at home can hear us. So what you're actually using, Scotty?
I'm just using a little 60mm atomic shiner.
Yep.
Now that's just a little 2.5 metre diver. Flick that out behind the boat, and yes, things jump on it like your flatheads and your trevally, your jacks like them as well. It's just a great way to cover ground, and that way if you don't have a sounder or you're struggling to find the fish, these tend to do the job for you.
We're onto a what we think might be a flathead. I'll just turn that.
You can see it's up on the surface.
Oh, look at him go. Oh, look at him on the surface.
All recording.
As long as yours is on, all good.
All good.
Just want to get the net dry.
I've got the net.
Yeah, he's up on top. He's a good fish.
Nice floody, eh?
I think so. He was going nuts on the surface before.
Beautiful. What a perfect size. Good eating size, mate. My God. Okay, nice eating flathead there, Scotty. Well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
Hey, now we've got something to eat, guys. Now we've got something to eat.
Beautiful.
Okay, beautiful. Let's get him in and get him unhooked. What's going on? Woo! Woo!
On me floody lure too.
Good man, good man. Beautiful. Well done. Guys, we've got a beautiful little flathead that Scotty landed, and we're going to head out for some jacks a little bit later on in the afternoon. So I'm just going to cook these guys up, knock them up a little bit of lunch. So big problem is that Jai doesn't eat seafood, so luckily enough I've come up with a little dish that we can do with flathead and we can do with some lamb cutlets. So Jai actually gets to eat something today because we're going to be out till this afternoon fishing for jacks. Anyway, I'm just going to knock the fillets off this, but I am actually going to scale it first because I actually do want to keep the skin on today. I'm just going to scale this guy up. So I'll just use a tea towel because of the spikes around the head. Okay, they do hurt when you get spiked on the fillets, these boys, I can tell you. So I'm just going to give these really good scaling. Flathead tends to be a little bit dry. That's why we tend to put a little bit of coating like a beer batter or you know, we crumb flathead, and when we actually fry it, it's great to leave the skin on because that'll just stop it from dehydrating and won't be as dry. So as soon as I get this done, we're going to fillet it and we'll start cooking for the boys. Guys, I've scaled the fish. Okay, you don't need to gut the fish, but if you were going to gut the fish, you will come through here and come all the way up and gut the fish, but we don't need to do that because I'm just taking the sides off today. I go in here through 1, 2, the second fin straight towards the head. I'm just going to twist that around. I'm going to come through all the way down. Now there is another way that you can actually skin these flathead, where we flip this over and we can actually skin it here, but I'll show you that in another clip. So because I'm going to actually take all of this off because I actually don't want to skin this guy, I want to actually keep the skin on for protection purposes. And then we're just going to do the other one. We're just going to come underneath here, hold on nice and tight all the way down, and we'll just pop that out. Looks like I've caught on a little bone there. That's okay. So there we go, two beautiful fillets. I'm actually going to keep this guy for a little bit of crab bait. put that with the other flathead I got the other week. So now we just make like a V shape into the, so where the bones are down the rib cavity here, just so that we get these nice and boneless for the boys. Now this guy is quite fresh. We've only just caught this guy. Normally I leave them in the esky a little bit longer, so the reason being is that they stiffen up a little bit, okay, so they're not quite as jelly sort of fine. So it's always good to sort of put your fish on ice straight away, but with filming we need to move on a little bit because we want to go and make sure we catch that tide this afternoon. It's a run out tide that the boys are telling me is the best tide for us to target the jacks, so I've got to sort of speed this cooking segment up a little bit. So we'll get rid of that. So I'm just going to take the fish off here, just where them bones finished. Okay, and I'm just going to score this tail. Just through the tail. This will just stop it from curling. There you can see. Beautiful. Beautiful piece of fish, absolutely superb. Okay, so these guys are ready to cook. So let's do it. As you've seen before, I've got the flathead. I've scored it, filleted it. What I like to do with the flathead first up is give it a good seasoning. Plenty of salt. So we've got some Creo Crush salt here from the guys at Creo Crush. And yeah, plenty of salt on there. What happens is that'll dry the surface of this skin out, and also the flesh. You want it to actually sear really, really quickly and get a beautiful caramelization on the skin. So what we're going to be serving with that today is we've got some onions, a little bit of chili. You can leave the chili out if you don't like chili. We've got some beautiful smoky bacon, and that's the streaky smoky bacon. We're going to render that down, make a really, really nice, some beautiful flavors with some garlic in there. And I'm going to put some frozen peas in there. Good old Aussie frozen peas. Absolutely nothing wrong with them. People think, oh, you're using a frozen vegetable, Paul. Well, in fact, these are more nutritional for you than actually fresh peas, because as soon as they're picked, they lose their nutritional value. So nothing wrong with frozen peas. Give them a go, guys. Cheap as chips, or cheap as peas. All right, so also I've got some oil here. I forgot my olive oil this morning. Sorry, George from Torino, but I did forget your beautiful olive oil. Normally I wouldn't use this, but what can you do? I had to get some from the servo. We have to zip back. And also I've got Jai some beautiful Aussie lamb cutlets. He's looking like he's salivating over there. He doesn't like fish, so I've actually come up with something that we can serve fish with, this dish, and also with lamb cutlets. So let's start cooking. I'm just going to throw these on. I've actually heated this grill plate up so we can basically take this off in a second, and the residual heat within this pan, because it's so hot, especially being a cast iron pan, we'll carry on cooking these chops while I start to cook the other dishes. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of seasoning on top. And that wind has really come up now, guys. I hope you can hear me. And these are probably going to only take about maybe 4 to 5 minutes. So I'm just going to take them off now, pop my other pan on, because I've only got one cooker. And that'll carry on cooking. Oil in the pan now. So in with our onions. Yeah, there's some garlic goes in. Plenty of garlic. When I was working in an Italian restaurant in the UK, this was a dish that the boys used to cook up for me. It was absolutely awesome, and with only a few ingredients, but the flavours we used to get out with it were absolutely amazing. So we're just going to let that start to infuse, and we're going to render that fat down. We don't want it to sear too quickly at the moment. So it's all rendered down now beautifully. Look at that. All that fat's coming out of the bacon. In with the peas. Go straight in with my peas. Beautiful. Just give these a bit of a toss round. I'm just going to leave all that to rest now. I'm going to throw my fish on. You know when it's hot enough it starts to smoke. I've got a thinner pan that I'm using for this. The other one's a little bit thicker because I wanted to cook it a bit slower. Give them a little bit of a sway round. And by salting the fish a little bit earlier, it's become a bit firmer, as you can see. We'll turn these over. Now if we want to add a little bit more flavour in here, I've got a little bit of rosemary here that I'm going to throw into the oil, like so. And we tip it back like this, and then we pour the hot oil over the top of the skin again. What this does is crisps it up even more. And it also gets like a really nice flavour of rosemary through there over the top of the fish, sort of like a real earthy sort of flavour going with the saltiness of the fish. I'm going to pop that to the side, and I'm going to throw these chops on, a little bit more basting over the top of the fish. Beautiful. Okay, just going to leave these to the side, and we'll pop our chops back on. Just got to reheat these just a little bit. They're still quite pink. What we're going to do is we're going to put some mint, just torn up mint, and I'm going to throw a tiny bit of some cider vinegar in here. The thing I'll serve up is these beautiful chops. So just a few peas in the middle. And I hope the boys appreciate this, because I really appreciate them showing me around Noosa River. I only moved here 3 years ago, and to get some really good local knowledge, these guys are on the water pretty much almost 24/7. If they're not working, they're fishing. So it's great to learn off these guys, and also be able to pay them back with a little bit of food. There you go, mate. Enjoy. Knife and fork there.
Thanks, mate. Absolutely beautiful.
Good.
Yeah.
Enjoy. There's also a couple of chops there, Scott, so you can have a bit of a surf and turf today, mate. There we go. There we go. Some beautiful fresh fish.
You couldn't ask for a feed like this inside a restaurant, and then to have a backdrop like this. We've got Paulie's beautiful boat in the background. It's nice, calm, not a person in sight. Good food, good friends.
Hey, and it's a Sunday as well.
It's
Can
a
you believe
Sunday.
it?
The best way to spend a Sunday right here.
How lucky are you two growing up here on the Sunshine Coast, you buggers?
Welcome to Queensland. Can't beat it. Suntans and fishing.
We generally like people like right here areas with so much fun with the boat. Just go to the hub.
I'm just rigging up this chase baits flick prawn for Paulie. We're going to go jack fishing. What we're going to be doing is casting up at the pontoons and jetties over there and letting this flutter down, and hopefully we can get a nice jack out of that. But my personal preference, getting a bit of this S-Factor scent. It doesn't have a particular scent. It's not like a squid or a prawn. It's a bit of everything. What I like to do with these, because it's a weedless flick prawn, they have the little carapace up there between the legs. I like to just go a nice big glob of scent in there. Don't have to be too particular with it. Fish don't care about finesse, really. And you pop a bit of scent on the side, just use the lip to rub it around. Now this scent's also got a, it's got like a UV activated bit of purple in it. So when it gets down a bit deeper or in the cloud cover, it almost glows a little bit purple. And that has caught me some of my best jacks. That's it. Weedless chase bait flick prawn.
Beautiful.
There
And what are we using over here, Jai?
I'm going for something completely new today. I'm actually going for a 100mm Western Squid, made by the guys at J&L Anglers Alliance. Basically it's a 32 gram, slow sinking, kind of like a stick bait, sort of moves side to side. Yeah, so you let them sink for say 5-6 seconds, they'll drop down about 1 metre, and then from there you'll just slow wind and add a few twitches.
Yep.
And yeah, hopefully I've seen some YouTube videos of blokes like Kyle Hennig and stuff like that up in North Queensland using these.
Yep.
And I've watched them have some of the best sessions I've seen on jacks.
Beautiful.
All on these lures, so.
Awesome, mate. So guys, what a fantastic day on the water with these guys from My Fishing Journey. You've got to check their YouTube channel out, and please subscribe and check some of the fish that these guys catch. Absolutely awesome. But we had a great day today, so thanks very much, boys.
Awesome. Thank you, Paulie.
Not a problem.
Yeah, no
My
worries.
pleasure.
All right, guys, from us here in Noosa, don't forget to check us every Friday here at The Hook and the Cook, and we'll see you next week, somewhere on the water. Cheers, guys. We'd like to give a big thank you to all our sponsors for 2019.